Here, we'd like to suggest the three expositional questions. Number one, in chapter 3, verses Israel did the evil. God, the Lord did God, and against them in the hand of Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia, and the children of Israel served Cushan, Rishathaim, 8 years. What does this mean, and how can we apply these to our lives? Question 2 in chapter Othniel, this die. What does it mean, text, and what can we learn from here? Last question, chapter 4, verse 9. So she said, I would surely go with you. Nevertheless, there will be no glory for you in the journey you are taking. For the Lord will sell Sisera into the hand of the eunuch. Then Deborah arose and went with Barak to Kadesh. What the 12 judges in which the tribe parcels, right there. Today we cover number 1, Othniel, victory over Canaanites. Number 2, Ehud, he killed Elgan, victory over Moabites. And Shamgar, he killed 600 Philistines. Then for Debora, Barak, victory over Sisera and the Canaanites. After Joshua gets in 1375 before Christ, God raised up judges for Israel, spiritual revival, in time of spiritual decline and servitude under their enemies during over 300 years in Theocracy. The 12 judges and legal judges, if you consider Barak as Deborah's assistant, and in the first Samuel chapter 1, 12, 28, 2 other judges, Eli and Samuel, were raised up to lead the entire nation by God before monarchy of Saul in 1050. In the last time, Judges 2, the task that they reverted and behaved profitably against their fathers by following other gods, to serve them and bow down to them. They did not see the from nor from their stubborn way. Then also will no longer drive out over the nations which Joshua left when he died. So that through them I may test Israel, whether they will keep the ways of the Lord, to walk in them as their fathers kept them or not. Therefore the Lord left those nations without driving them out immediately, nor did he deliver them into the hand of Joshua. It showed the Israelites yo-yo phenomena, spiritual decline and spiritual revival to the judges. It happened 14 times, including Eli and Samuel before monarchy. Today we cover 4 judges: Othniel, Ehud, Shamgar, Debora, Barak. Verse 1, now these are the nations which the Lord left that he might cast Israel by them, that is all who had not known any of the words in Canaan. God allowed the enemies who had not been completed driven out by Joshua and Israel. to remain the test the Israelites' faith and obedience. A new generation, unfamiliar with the great battles of conquest, was now coming of age. This was only so that the generations of the children of Israel might thought to know word, at least those who had not formally known yet, namely 5 lords of the Philistines, all the Canaanites, the Sidonians, and the Hivites who dwelt in Mount Lebanon, from Mount Baal Hermon to the entrance of the Haman. And they were left that he might test Israel by them to know whether they would obey the commandments of the Lord, which he had commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses. Verse 5. Thus the children of Israel dwelt among the Canaanites, the Hittites and the Amorites, the Perizzites and Hivites and Jebusites. Instead of obeying God's command, the Israelites let their enemies stay and lived among them. This was a tragic mistake. And they took their daughters to be their wives and gave their daughters to their sons, and they served their gods. Verse 7. So the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord. They forgot the Lord their God and served the Baals and Asherahs. Baal, the god of agriculture, harvest, and fertility, along with his female counterpart, Asherah, goddess of fertility, represented by wooden pillars, were central to ancient pagan worship. This worship often involved licentious sexual rites in honor of fertility, like Asherah. God explicitly warns against and prohibited such practices. God's warnings and laws are for our benefit. He knows the ultimate consequences of our actions, and in His love seeks to protect us from suffering them. However, we often tragically assume these warnings don't apply to us. The living, we know better, or that our situation is unique. This is a Christian Rishania, and the children of Israel served Christian with a time 8 years. Before entering the land, God warned the Israelites in Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 1 about the severe consequences of disobeying His command. Yet once they were there, they completely disregarded His warnings and did exactly what He told them not to do. Many find the Old Testament's severe judgment against nations difficult to comprehend or often. People dismiss God's warnings as unnecessary. However, God commanded the extermination of those in the land because He intended for Israel to be His instrument of judgment against these pagan nations, their horrific and vile practices. Verse 9, when the children of Israel cried out to the Lord raised up a deliverer for the children of Israel, who delivered them, Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother. Othniel, Israel's first judge, volunteered to lead an attack against a fortified city, therefore guiding the nation back to God. He was the nephew of Caleb, an example renowned for his unwavering faith in God. Othniel successfully led the people back to God and freed them from the oppression of the Mesopotamian king. Cross-reference there. Verse 10, the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he judged Israel. He went out to war, and the Lord delivered Cushan, Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia, into his hand, and his hand prevailed over Cushan, Rishathaim. The first Persian king, Israel, originated from Mesopotamia, especially the region of Assyria, located far to the north. And the second Persian came from a neighboring territory, the land of Moab. This land bordered Israel directly and was inhabited by Moabites, who, according to biblical accounts, were descendants of Lot through the incestuous relations with Israel. Notably, the tribe of Reuben allocated land with a security directed across from Moab, east of the Dead Sea. Question 2, verse 11. So the land had rest for 40 years. Then Othniel, the son of Kenaz, died. The account of Othniel marks not at the first isolated instance, but the beginning of a recurring pattern for Israel. This cycle involved the Israelites turning away from God, subsequently reaping the consequences by being delivered into the hands of their enemies and enduring oppression and hardship. In their distress, they would then call upon the Lord, who would raise up a deliverer to set them free from their enemies. This would lead to a period of peace and prosperity, only for them to fall back into the same pattern of worshiping other gods and turning their hearts away from the Lord. This cycle of apostasy, servitude, and deliverance will be repeated. So often it becomes tiresome. This pattern mirrors represents the first instance of the apostasy, the first period of servitude, and the first judgment, and this repeating cycle. 12 and 13. And the children of Israel again did evil in the sight of the Lord. So the Lord strengthened the Egypt king of Moab against Israel, Eglon king of Moab against Israel, because they had done evil in the sight of the Lord. Then he gathered to himself the people of Ammon, Amalek, went and defeated Israel, and took possession of the city of palms. The Moabites, Ammonites, and Amalekites invaded coastal Jordan. The Ammonites, like the Moabites, were descendants of Lot through his other daughter. The Amalekites were his perennial foe of Israel, an Amalek dating type group. Amalek symbolically represents the flesh led during Saul's reign, when Israel with a strong soul failed to completely destroy Amalek that God through Shamgar had commanded. This disobedience nearly cost Israel its very existence when at the time of Esther, Haman the Agagite, also an Amalekite, plotted to destroy the nation. This illustrates a crucial point. God doesn't want us to make any provision for our flesh. If you attempt to compromise with your flesh, it will ultimately rise up and destroy you. This is why God commanded their extermination. The quote reference here. Verse 15. But when the children of Israel cried out to the Lord. Verse 14. So the children of Israel served Eglon and Moab 18 years. But when the children of Israel cried out to the Lord, raised up a deliverer for them, Ehud the son of Zerah, the Benjamite left-hand man. By him the children of Israel sent tribute to Eglon, king of Moab. Ehud was a deliverer for Israel. In a broader sense, all the judges in the Bible are likely all examples foreshadowings of Jesus Christ, the ultimate deliverer. They will save Israel from their human enemies. But Jesus saved us from Satan behind the scene, who is our greatest enemy. Now Satan has been defeated by Jesus' resurrection, but not destroyed yet. Since now Ehud made himself a dagger It was a double-edged and two-bit in length, and fastened it under his clothes on his right thigh. So he brought the tribute to Eglon, king of Moab. Now Eglon was a very fat man, and when he had finished presenting the tribute, he sent away the people who had carried the tribute, but himself turned back from the stone image that were at Gilgal and said, I have a secret message for you, O king. He said, keep silence. And all who attended him went out from him. So Ehud came to him. Now he was sitting upstairs in the cool private chamber. Then Ehud said, I have a message from God for you. So he rose from his seat. Then Ehud reached with his left hand, took the dagger from his right thigh, and thrust it into his belly. In the Ehud's era, being left-handed was often viewed as a handicap, a trait common among many Benjamins. However, God strategically used Ehud's perceived weakness to secure victory for Israel. This story underscores a timeless principle. God can use you just as you are to accomplish his divine work. Even the hilt went in after blade, and the fat clothes over blade, for he did not draw the dagger out of his belly, and his entrails came out. Then Ehud went out through the porch and shut the doors of the upper room behind him, locked them. When he had gone out, Eglon's servants came to look, and to their surprise, the doors of the upper room were locked. So they said, he is probably attending